All right. Welcome to Rich Conversations. It's an early morning, earlier for Timothy than myself, but we're here and
Very early.
welcome back to the show.
Very early. Very early morning. But it's always good though,
Your
man.
Pacific time, yeah, LA time.
Yeah. So it's about 6:43 right now my time. The sun's still not even out. But it feels good.
Yeah, I okay. So
Yeah.
what time do you usually get up?
4:30. 4:30 to charge my ankle
Jesus
monitor.
Christ, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So well yeah, that's 6:30 your time. So 4:30 to charge my ankle monitor from 4:30 to 5:30. And then I fully make my bed and do other things, get ready for work. And yeah, I'm out the door by like a little bit before 6 o'clock just to, catch the train to get to work and
So
everything.
when you're
So
charging your ankle monitor, what else are you doing during that time?
uh sometimes laying here going back to sleep for like another hour or I just be in my thoughts, just thinking about stuff. That's about it. I don't know, I might watch a some type of video, something like that's informative or whatever. It just all depends. It really depends on my mood.
Sure.
Yeah.
I Yeah, I wanted to get in. So I like just like writing my thoughts down in the morning.
Hmm.
That's why I'm a little late. And I like to meditate. I don't like to miss a meditation session. So that's why I was a little late today. Because I'm coming over here to the office. Yeah, I want to get those journal thoughts in.
Do you feel like, okay, if I miss a meditation session, right? Like, do you feel like your mood might be off for like the day or something like that?
Yeah, I can really tell. So I've missed a total. It's not like dramatic, like, oh my gosh, the world's crashing, but it's like I've been keeping track of these habits, and
Yeah.
I've only missed 2 days this year, and last year I think was five. No, six? Yeah, eight. So I think eight total I've missed in 2 years. And what that is,
Mm.
like, even 5 minutes is fine. Like I did 5 minutes today. It's just really to just center myself,
Mhm.
give myself just like some clarity. And if I don't do that, I find myself uh, just more irritable. And there's just like a general feeling that I'm being dragged along the day rather than being in control of it.
I try to find I try to find like good times where I can journal out the day. And I realize sometimes I might go like 2 or 3 days might pass by where I haven't journaled anything, right? And that more like it frustrates me on the inside because here it is, like, but I haven't specifically set a goal. Like, okay, so now for next year, like, I want to do set a small goal of literally journaling for 365 days. No matter how much I'm journaling, like whether it's just a paragraph, a sentence, a whole page, but to really like every day commit to that, to I guess commit to a time, find a good time where I can just commit to it, no distractions. Because I know
Yeah.
sometimes on the train, I've journaled on the train, but then sometimes it's been distracting where I got
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, like I mean no, some mornings on the train, like I'm the only one sitting in this car, so I can do that. Or it might be just one other person as well, but there's sleep over there. So it's like I can do
See, but
that.
there's too many variables. You got to cut
Yeah.
out all the variables and then just make it really easy for yourself. And it's just something you do when you get up, you know?
Yeah. And I think more, yeah, I think I need to do it when I get up. Like I could just well now, okay, I got my one of my roommates, he finally has this training job, so he's getting up more now. At first, like I couldn't really get up and just turn on the light because he'll be asleep or something. I have one roommate where it's like, yeah, he gets up with me because we both gotta go to work. So I probably could have, do that. Well now I can turn on the light and just at least take about maybe 5 minutes to just journal something before I really get ready, just to start my day off. Because I feel like for me, like that's like I feel good. I feel like I'm feeding my soul when I'm able to journal and I'm able to really get my
Yeah.
thoughts out clear because I'm reflecting now just off of, you know, characteristic traits and habits that I want to develop and just the mindset that I'm trying to really instill and just into me, because like how we say, like we battle with our past selves, so and it's crazy, right? Because all right, so I'm reading just your part with discipline, right? And you growing up on a farm. No, it was really good and I loved it, right? So you growing up on a farm, it's like it already instills discipline in you because you have to constantly do so much just to maintain like, everything that goes on the farm versus a person like me being from a city. It's like just in my environment itself, like discipline was not like present. I
Yeah.
always talked about there was homelessness. It was just, you know, um, people walking around with no ambition, no drive, the whole, I'm not going to even say like just contentment, but people settle for just their circumstances, right? And
Hmm.
accepted, just this below average lifestyle and the mentality as well, even people in my family. So just to really find that and to really like I journal that a lot, like discipline, right? And I tell people here, like to me, I feel like that's my key to success is discipline. And right there, like battling with old selves and stuff like that, it's a tough battle every day because that was something that was never present in my upbringings. Maybe a little bit because I've been in sports and stuff like that. My grandma had me in karate and football, basketball.
Yeah.
So you do learn a little thing or two about discipline just playing a sport. But to see it in the home and stuff like that, that was never, that was non-existent. So that right there is like I try to look at it like, okay, well, if I can do this, which for the most part I do because I work out every day, even out after work, like I work out. So that part, yeah, but to apply it to other areas of my life, that right there is something like I've been really trying to focus on in order for me
Discipline,
to get to.
if it's framed more, I think I wrote this in the book, but like when we think of discipline, it often is associated with punishment, but really like discipline creates freedom.
So, and I like how you put that too, right? Because discipline does create freedom. Now, yeah, it's not a punishment, but it can be a punishment just to because now it's like you're taking away things that you probably once loved or that you do love. Like say like okay, say like you're a type of person where maybe on a Friday night or Friday evening you want to go out with friends, have a few drinks, and just everybody enjoy each other company. But the discipline part of it is like taking that sacrifice, right? Where it's like you're not hanging out for 6 months because you're like head down, locked in on.
See, see what you prescribe too much. I'm not too much, but like you're really into the like David Goggins philosophy
Hey,
of like
hey, I kid you not,
like
right?
pure intensity. I don't mind going out with friends on a Friday night
Yeah.
because if you're disciplined throughout the week, like you get all your stuff done and then you're more like celebrating and being social.
Nah, for sure. Nah, it's good to be social because even in here, like people look at it like when you get out of prison, it's like you come out with this whole antisocial mentality, and it's like that's not how you're gonna, you know, adapt back into society as you should be. But yeah, I guess so. Like I ain't gonna lie, David Goggins, like, and I listen to a lot of his like podcast stuff, like in the mornings, like, and that has been a part of my morning rituals is like listening to David Goggins or Andrew Tate, ET, like people like that, where it's like they talk about discipline, right? And yeah,
And
it's
that's
not a
good
punishment though.
for
Don't get me
like
wrong, it's
it
not a
gives you like um it's beneficial for you in that process. And I'm all for
well,
that.
it keeps me like how you say like you do things to keep you like the journaling part keeps you centered, right? For me, it's like that as well. Like outside of journaling, listening to like motivational podcasts or speeches keeps me centered in a way because it's like a lot of us wake up and I know for Americans who are like me or we wake up with instantly want to turn on rap music just to get us pumped up for the day or whatever the case may be, and it's like I try to I try to steer away from that every day because it's like I don't need like I don't know like for some reason like too much rap takes me to a negative place, and I try to really as best as I can to protect my inner peace. And I do realize it's like, okay, if I'm working out, if I'm eating right, or if I'm not eating right, then it's like if I'm exposing my body just to like all this like negative things, how I feel throughout the day. And it's just like with my mind, if I'm listening to negativity, if I'm exposing it to negativity, then it's like,
Yeah.
how is my mood going to feel throughout the day? So it's like, I try to at least do other things just to feel centered, you know? Whereas like I can wake up like this and just be in a positive mood at 6 o'clock in the morning and just, while other people are still, ah shit, I don't want to get up and damn, I wish, like that. Like, no, I wake up and even when I go to work, it's early in the morning. I tell everybody, y'all need to smile. It's like just because it could be worse and just be happy that you woke up because it's a lot of people out here that didn't wake up.
Yeah.
So
Um, a few things to hit on. So our book 3 is in proofreading right now. Um, so this is we have core values and beliefs, humanity and society, and book 3 is self-growth. And we each finish our writing. It's in proofreading right now. And later on, we should select our mind and consciousness for book 4, those questions. But before we get into that, something that's been on my mind, and I want to get your thoughts. When I when I say the phrase cookie cutter America, what comes to your mind?
cookie cutter America, I don't know. Um, Cookie cutter America. That sounds like something dealing with lack of probably like lack of knowledge or something like that. That's what I would think. Cookie cutter America.
Elaborate.
Um, I guess the cookie cutter, like I used to hear, okay, so I used to hear people say, "Oh, you're like a smart cookie or whatever," right? And I guess metaphorically, it's like the cookie is like maybe we could say it's like the knowledge or whatever. And cookie cutter America is like we live in a society where everything is about entertainment, right? And it's to really keep a lot of us distracted just on I guess being conscious enough to fully be independent. So it's like America, I don't know the statistics of where we're ranked at when it comes to education, but I know it's pretty low. Versus other countries where it's like they fully focus on being very educated, where it's like they can, individuals can be independent. Whereas us, it's like
You
we'll
sort
probably
of cut
know
out
more
there. What
about.
was that? You cut out
You
there.
can still
Say
hear
it
me.
again.
All right. Well, so we just basically like the statistics of where we rank at in education. I'm not sure like where it's at but I'm more than likely for certain it's low. But we live in a society where it's like we know more about things that go on in celebrity lives versus just basic economics or um I'm not gonna say politics or anything like that, but just the fundamentals that really make a person independent. We lack those things. And when you have there's a lot of people with podcasters, right, that is trying to enlighten someone about whatever field, they need to know, but yet it's like the cookie cutter is like it's everything distractions is more pushed out. It's more pushed out than anything, especially with technology nowadays. So I look at like, when it comes to like cookie cutter America, it's like metaphorically, it's like, it's like blocking of knowledge. It's like, or education, true education to make somebody really independent. That's how I will look at that statement.
So when you say the word education, and if like America compared to other countries, the education is low, how do you define education, and is the educational system that we have in place, is it representative of that?
Well, I'm not gonna say like the educational system is like education, right? Because a lot of it growing up now was seeing what I see now is a lot of it is false. It's just I believe we had this conversation already before. Like it's just memorizing information, right? And a lot of that information is truly false. Is the narrative is wrong in all types of ways, but I don't say the educational system reflects education. I think, um, and I believe like, okay, I was reading The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. And in the part, or not even The Laws of Success, actually it was Outwitting the Devil. So in one section, he talks about education. And just to summarize everything, for him, education was actually teaching a person how to problem solve and think for themselves, which a lot of us lack. We lack problem solving skills and we just lack that will to think for ourselves. It's like we memorize all this information and we call it facts and everything, but a lot of it we just going off of blind faith or whatever, and it could be the blind leading the blind or whatever, or it could just be this puppet master controlling the strings. However, anybody want to looks at it, but that's not what we was taught in school. That's just like for me, like I feel it's leading masses of people into a slaughterhouse to, you know, we teach, it's like you're being taught to work or whatever, never to build something on your own. It's to build somebody else's dream. It's like you go to college to get a good job. A job is where it's like you're gonna be someone's employee working 9 to 5 to however long or something like that versus other
Yeah.
schools and depending on the communities, higher communities where it's like they're being taught to build, to lead and stuff like that, to think for themselves, so with that being said, like for me, education is like that. It's learning how to problem solve. It's learning how to think for myself. It's learning how to really take the initiative and the control of my life and my destiny. To not be someone else's puppet. You
Yeah.
know, and I feel like just like the educational system that I was brought up in, it does not reflect that at all.
Got it. Okay, another phrase. Boomer culture.
Boomer culture.
Yeah.
I think like baby boomer culture or something like that. Yeah, I just baby boomer culture. That's like my grandma's culture where um I don't know, I could be wrong, you probably it's probably a different meaning behind it, but okay, baby boomer culture, like baby boomer culture, and I had to talk with my grandma not long ago because my sister does things where, it annoys my grandma, or it has her feeling some type of way, right? Where it's like how my sister and her boyfriend conduct themselves. It's way different from how my grandma, things they used to do back in the 50s and the 60s and things like that nature, right? So boomer culture, it's like there's no, okay, so in that era right there, you wanted to meet a girl, you wanted to take her out, you introduce yourself to the parents, and if you had the dad or the mom's blessing, things are like that, everything was okay. Nowadays it's none of that. It's meet up through social media. Dudes is if you want to take a woman out, you either meet her at the restaurant, or if you pick her up, it's like you send her a text that I'm outside and she just comes out. There's no walking up to the door. There's no introducing yourself to the parents. None of that. Just to let them know like who their daughter is going to be with for the night. There's none of that stuff. And it's all about, I know for a lot of men, it's all about sex. It's like, I want to do this just to have sex with this person. And there's really no substance no more. Versus back then, it's like, I guess people had to be married first before sex was even you know getting started. So it's just it's a different culture that we live in now. But when I think of boomer culture, yeah, I can only think of like the baby boomer culture or something.
Yeah. So it goes to a generational perspective.
Yeah. What's the actual meaning though? I'm curious.
Well, there is no like actual
Mm.
definition or meaning. Something that's on my mind is like when I look at American culture, when I look at society, it feels very like empty and hollow and soulless. And there's just like struggle and malaise, but no one can really define it. My perspective is that the way we're perceiving the world is being filtered through the lens of boomer culture. And what I mean by that is all our institutions are still being led by people of an older generation, or more specifically, it's less about people of a generation and more so a mindset that is trying to solve problems using yesterday's process.
Mhm.
And so there's this struggle because the world is new. We have all these different things going on. And there's like a struggle, a confrontation because we're not able to solve them because our thought process isn't capable of that. So when I say boomer culture, what I'm referring to is how American culture is still placating boomers and people of an older mindset.
Mhm.
And so there's like a tension.
Well, if you think about it, like look at a lot of like, don't get me wrong, like society is transitioning over to the, whether it could be generational X or the millennials that are going to be like, our world leaders and stuff like that. Like a lot of people from that baby boomer culture, or just that generation, like gets older and older by the day. So within, let's just say, the next 10 years, right? Who are going to be our world leaders, to where it's like this is who we follow, and it's more than likely going to be maybe people from like that come from generational X or whatever, that's older, and yeah, they still might have some of that mentality of what was taught in the baby boomer culture, but then eventually like it's gonna come down to like millennials, us, that are like the leaders of society, and we have to look at it like just kind of like our mentality of like what we accept and where we're heading. It's like, where do we see like, our future being within the next maybe 20, 25 years?
So what I'm reflecting on is it's less about people, it's more about ideas where, and this goes back to like cookie cutter America. And going back to your education, right? If we're inheriting a culture and a thought process and education of like, this is how we do things, it wouldn't matter the people who are in leadership positions because the culture is passed down because of its dominance.
Hmm.
So, like, boomer culture, it's less about biological beings and more so about ideas and a mindset of how to approach things. It's like a lack of innovation. I'm really what I'm getting at is like innovation.
I could see that. Just let's with the ideas part, right? Where
Yeah.
because the dominant idea or the innovation part is like that's what creates the culture, right? Where this is the things that we're doing now. But as you okay, let's go back to how you see things as being like just shallow, right? And empty because
I should add this caveat. If something is all about profit, then the ideas get filtered to create profit. But if profit is the priority, then it suppresses innovative ideas often.
well, that's probably shifting over to a socialist society where it's like for centuries, right? Like the culture, as we say, has been this capitalistic mentality where it's all about profit. It's all about,
Those are
making
those
an
are
extra
dirty
dollar.
words. Socialists, capitalists. They're so heavily weighted, you know?
But that's our dominant culture. So, and from right there, I believe that's what it does make it empty and stuff because here it is where it's like I want to be something that makes more than my teacher, or I want to be something that makes more than a doctor, or I want to be a doctor because I can make X amount of money. And even when a lot of people get to this status where you do make money and it's always been about obtaining an extra dollar, you still feel that emptiness inside because, and we can tie this all back to discipline, right? Where it's like you make money to spend money instead of to use money to contribute to society, to making the world a better place, or to invest or whatever to make you more money, however a person's relationship with money. But from right there, it's like when you give money just to spend it, especially on things that really have no substance or meaning, from right there, it's like internally, yeah, you're gonna feel empty. You're gonna feel empty. Like I've always wondered why a person that was wealthy, financially successful, and on the surface might seem like had a good life, good family, everybody was taken care of, but would commit suicide. For whatever reason, it's like I don't know the full reason of why a person would do that, but it has to probably tie into like just internally that emptiness. It's like a void that wasn't filled, or something that just wasn't fulfilled, and it's like just living with that lack of purpose, where it's like you think this is your purpose, but it's not truly your purpose because like in this culture, like the mentality is I have to I have to gain some type of profit, or business wise, like I have to have profit. But just for the average citizen, it's like I have to try to accumulate an extra dollar. So I think I will feel comfortable. This is our dominant culture now. With your what you're thinking, and I like it too because it can humble a lot of people. But maybe this can be like the shift in 20, 25 years. Only we'll be able to tell. But as millennials become like our world leaders, it's like, will we still have this capitalist mentality, or will we, you know, transition over into something else? Where it's like, a lot of people can really feel like they're living better lives, or they can actually start living better lives. There's no pressure to become a doctor, a lawyer, an athlete, or some type of music artist in order to look at it like this is success.
Hmm, interesting. Um, what was the hardest question you had to answer on book three?
Um, the hardest one, I'll probably say, what was the probably talking about change. When I talked about change, like what was the hardest change I've made so far?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was like the hardest one because it's like I had to really.
Which is the first? I put that as first in the book.
Yeah, I think that was like my last. That was like my last question that I actually did. My first
Oh,
question.
interesting.
Yeah, my first question that I tackled was, what do I trust more, logic or intuition? That was the first question I tackled.
Okay. I think I put that. What order did I put that? Oh, I put that as fifth, your fifth one that you answered in the book.
Yeah. So yeah, nah, that was like the hardest question because I had to honestly like I had to honestly really be open with myself and really sit there. Like I probably sat there for like maybe a day or two and reflected like what really is like what has been my hardest the hardest change I've made, just so far. And coming out with that, like accepting to like be alone, like that probably has been like the hardest because yeah, growing up, I never tried to be alone. There's not a year where relationship wise, I wasn't in a relationship. There's never been a time where I went 6 months to a year away from friends, away from family. Like I'm always around people, so and that's really been the story of my life is being surrounded by people to feel like some type of this sense of self-worth that is like I'm not uh I'm not some type of bloner or loser or whatever the case may be. So accepting that now, I feel like that's what's made me stronger.
Hmm.
It's like you can take my phone away right now and cut me off from society, and I will not like gain not 1 weight or 1 pound of depression.
Yeah.
Like put me back in the cell, give me a book, give me a pencil or a pen or and paper, and maybe a Sudoku book as well or something like that, and I would be fine.
Yeah. I like Sudoku. What was it? What was the most impactful book on you in prison?
The most impactful book, I would probably say either. Okay, well, I'll start with the autobiography of Malcolm X. I always start right there.
Okay.
Just his transition from being a street dude to a highly educated individual that was an activist and really wanted to better the conditions of just Black Americans. But to really, I'll probably say it had to be for sure. It was James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, and um, The Path to Prosperity, but also too the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh, dude, my
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah, the Count of that's really my favorite book, The Count of Monte Cristo. And it's crazy, like when you sent that over to me, like, and I still remember like yesterday where you was like explaining about it in the letters,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
so I
like,
did. I
yeah,
so I got
you,
that book for you.
yeah, so yeah, and he was like, I'm sending you over this book to read, and it's like, man, like just one of the first, I would say one of the first thick books that I've read, like really over 1,000 pages, and to really like just find laughter and excitement of reading this book, like, and then also too just to, because I know some people will probably read a book like that and be done with it, but to actually read it again for like a second time and a third time, you know, that right there. I really felt that because, well, okay, I say this, with the James Allen, right? That question, in a way, that made me question just my religious belief, being a Muslim, right? But I like that where it was like things of balance and understanding evil and its purposes and stuff like that, and just your thoughts can shape your reality, right? But now I
Yeah,
get into the Count of Monte Cristo, where it's like this guy goes to prison for something he didn't do, something like, just the whole betrayal, and people didn't want to see him have certain things, so they wanted to get him out the way. Now that part I couldn't really relate to. It was just, for me, going to prison was just behind being aimless and greedy, and you're just not really moving with intention, like you say, you know. But losing everything for him, like he lost everything. His father, his wife, like he lost everything, right? That mattered to him. For me, the same way. It's like where I lost certain relationships that I wanted to hold on to, and just the lifestyle I was living at the time, lost that and being forgotten about. But to come back more richer for me is like in the mind, not in material things. But for him, it was came back more richer in the mind, but also the material things as well. Whereas like he became a valuable person, like to the people that forgotten all about him, and really just to the world, like he was like the count. Like, who is the count? The count is mysterious. Oh, but I love the count. I want to be around the count. Like
yeah.
it was just so like, to me that was so like impactful. And it's like he was comfortable being alone. Like, and it's crazy because the way the story ended was kind of good too, because the young broad that he saved out of slavery that he bought, it hinted that maybe they started something together. But that was really, right there. That's still, because that gave me hope. Just being in prison, I know, like, okay, like when I come home this time, I'm gonna make it count. I'm gonna make it count for sure. And I still say that to this day. Like when people just see the seriousness in my eyes of what we have going on and going to work, working out, very limited time to hang around a lot of dudes around here. It's like because I'm just so focused in on everything I got going on and like the life that I'm trying to achieve. It takes it takes that level of seriousness, focus, and discipline in a way. Even though I know I can improve more, but those have been like that has I can't really say it's one specific book that's really been influential, because I will never forget those four books for sure. But it started off with the
Yeah.
autobiography of Malcolm X. It started off with that. And then once James Allen, those two books came about, and then the Count of Monte Cristo, for sure.
Did you get the copy I sent you of As a Man Thinketh, Rich Edition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have that one.
What do you think about how it turned out?
The cover, yeah, it's good. I haven't opened it yet. It's at the house.
Oh, you got to open it, man.
Yeah, no, I haven't opened it. Like the only ones I have, like my like I had my cousin drop off at my work, was our books. Um, but my grandma, she flips through it. But no, I'm gonna have her. Actually, I can have her do it. I can have her do that this weekend. I can have her do that this weekend. Bring me Rich Edition. just to really open it, see how, see all the works that you put in there.
It's sexy. It's really sexy.
For sure. It's right there though. It's right there on my table. Like it's right there. Cause my grandma, she was like, even she was like, you have some books that came through the mail. And I remember you already had sent them. So it's like all of them is right there, like in my book collection, because I'm aiming for like just like that shelf, that bookshelf that you have in the back. Like
Yeah.
that's how I want in my house, like to I want to really have like my own personal library because
So
now
I
it's
have,
like
yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just because how I envision just in my own place where it's like this where it's like I keep it quiet, there's no TV on, my phone is more than likely on do not disturb, and it's like I'm just sitting there reading, like I could read in silence,
Yeah.
that right there, and that's what been making me comfortable as well, just being alone. I don't really I don't fear that like I'm missing out if I'm not with somebody or if I'm not hanging out with people, like not to say like I'm antisocial or I prefer to be antisocial. Like, yeah, like if you really if you was to text me and say, hey, I'm hanging out with friends if you wanna, come and, tag along, I would be fine with it. But then also it'd be a lot of times where it's like I'm just comfortable being alone and just reading and exploring like new worlds or just being reading something that's just having my thoughts run now to where like this creates ideas for something later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's one of three places where my books are. And in the barn I have totes. That's the hardest thing about moving is moving physical books because they're heavy too. And then so I have all these totes in the barn, and then in the farmhouse I have like I call it a study. So in the studio I have a study, and I don't have a bookshelf. I have a lot of books that from the totes, I took these books thinking in the next year or so, which ones would I be interested in? So the ones still in the totes are something more like long term, building a library. And I got like all of them in thrift stores, so they're like $1 each. So over the years, I built up quite a collection. And
Man, but that's
this right
wonderful.
here, yeah, the top shelf is only Blue Byron books, so we got to fill that up. Um, yeah, and then
You
I
know it's
added some
crazy.
some other ones in the next two.
So I've like it's this guy that I don't like personally know him, but he's one of my followers on Instagram, and he you know he sometimes comments on just like my reels when I post them and stuff like that, like the poetry and stuff that I say, and you know telling him like I told him like, hey, he was like, hey man, I've been seeing, you've been posting your stuff, you still on it, we haven't talked in a while. How's everything going? I'm like, oh, just staying focused, about to publish my third book and this and that. And he was like, man, third, like that's amazing, and I sent him over the link to Amazon, to check it out. He was like, man, most definitely I'm gonna read it. I think he's probably gonna get the second one though, Humanity and Society, but I told him like that's the second one. The first one is core values and belief. But I'm like, yeah, me and my co-author, we're aiming to more than likely have the fourth one done by December. And then I was planning to just because outside of just what we've been working on, I've still been working on like just all my poems because I want to have all 50 poems sent to you by January to see if we can publish it by February. And I want to do that because that's like a little birthday gift for me since my birthday's in February. I want to do that.
What day is your
But he was
birthday?
like, man, February 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but right there is like outside of him and other people, like just getting books published, even like like the mental health therapists around here. Just knowing one of them, like he's a good mental health therapist. Like when I go and sit in his office sometimes and just talk, he be like, man, like, that's really incredible just to have not just one, but two and a third one on the way coming to be published. It's like, I don't personally know too many people like that who has actually written a book and things of that nature. And I had this one dude where it's like he was asking me questions because he wrote a book, like a poetry book, and he wanted to figure how can he get it started. And I introduced him to the Google Docs and everything. I'm like, you could just have all this saved up here, send it to your people through email. Where now, if they got their own editor and publishing company, they can do their part. But it's easier than just having the whole manuscript because when you start writing it out, handwriting it, then type it out. Once it gets sent to the editor, and the editor might want you to change a few things, it's like you might have to start all over because it's not saved to like an email to where it's like it's easier just on the Google Docs because you can change it right then and there and send it back,
Yeah.
to your editor, and it's just it's less time consuming and more convenient, and it's a smarter way to go about it. So I had him download that, but right there, it that felt like you know that had a little meaning to that, like in a good way, because it just what we've been doing for over like the years, like that to me, like that's that seriousness. And a lot of people see like for me, like I see the results because I see how others look at me and come to me about certain things. So it's like I know, like, man, like that's it's just been really good, like what we've been doing. And other things I have planned too, even outside of this book. Like after this book, I have a few more things planned, um, like story wise and everything like that. Coming up with stories and stuff.
Cool. Let's uh let's switch over to book 4. You ready? You ready to select some questions?
Um, yeah, yeah. We do that. So we're
You're
going for
good. You're
10.
good to do it now?
Yeah, yeah. We're going for 10 now. So, and this is mind and consciousness. So now this is really I see you already. Yeah, I had seen this last night. You had already selected one.
Yeah, I know. I got a little ahead of myself.
Yeah, I was like Rich already went in, but so it's good. I mean, we got 10. It's 40 of them down there. Um,
Yeah, so I went ahead and I chose Can the Mind Heal the Body? This is actually the book I'm looking forward to most. So I'm energized that we're taking an ambitious approach. We started with 7 questions each, then 8, then book 3 has been 9 questions each, and now this one is 10.
um, wait. Go back up real quick. Let me see number 6 real quick. What's your view on mindfulness and meditation? Uh, I'll leave that one to you since you do more meditation. Do you believe dreams have? Let me start with dreams have meaning. Number 5. Yeah, I can, because I can talk about something personal right there.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I guess you assigned me this one, apparently.
oh no! I mean, you don't have to do it, but I know you be big on meditation, especially the mindfulness. It just seem really right for you.
Yeah.
Um, it's thought faster than light. Oh, that's a good one. Um,
Our brain is like an electric circuit, and it's like a switchboard
yeah,
firing
if you think
neurons.
about it, like we have so many uh so many thoughts per second just within the day. Um, let me see. I might tackle that. Let me see what else is down there first. or both? Spiritual, religious, or both? That's a consciousness question right there for sure. What do you believe about the divine? God, God's the universe. Uh,
I'm gonna take this one. What gives you a sense of awe?
that's a good one. Is spirituality a personal or collective journey? Mm, I feel like that's a wise question. What happens to the soul if it exists after death? All right, we'll stay away from that one. Do you think we're part of something bigger? Well, that's a good question. What does being spiritual mean to you? Can morality exist without religion? Mm, these are very good questions.
Yeah, they're pretty piercing. They're pretty pretty
Yeah, nah, this is gonna be a deep one. This is gonna be a deep one. All right, let's go back up real quick. I'm gonna start back from the top. Uh, all right. Uh,
I think I separated these where like page one is mind and consciousness, and then like the second half are like spiritual and religion.
yeah, that's what it seemed. That's what it was seeming
Is
like.
that okay if we combine them, even though we're
Uh,
calling it mind and consciousness?
well, let's uh let's see, because okay, yeah, the few questions talk about related to the mind, but consciousness, that's more like the like self-awareness. I think we should find like questions pertaining to self-awareness.
More?
Yeah. Yeah, that looks nice. I can see myself sitting down outside.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, like
Real
sipping
real quick, my again, like impressions, everything we're like seeing and influencing us. So I'm on my computer a lot, so my backgrounds I am intentional about. Like so when I wrote my novel,
uh-huh.
it's like a fictionalized version of my life. So every chapter, every scene actually, I had photos of my life pertaining to that particular scene that I would set as my wallpapers so that they
Man.
influence me when I'm writing. So I'm like really present in there.
Oh,
So
that
all of
looks
these
nice.
are Paris.
Oh
So these are
man.
all photos from Paris. Paris is on my mind, and I want to go back soon.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to go out there. That looks nice.
yeah, so it sets the vibe for sure. But then like I have, um, the countryside and like beautiful country shots, or like New York, or Miami, or LA, or London. Like I have wallpapers of my own that really like influence how I want to feel. So maybe let's do. Oops.
Mhm. Mhm. So while we wait, let's see what else we can uh there we go. Self awareness.
ChatGPT going kind of slow today.
Yeah. Uh, oh wow. That overthinking. I know I sometimes overthink stuff. That might be a good one for me.
So, would you agree that most people overthink? I
Um
guess not
yeah.
necessarily. It's like
You don't think
I think
so?
that's like a product of modern society is like massive overthinking. Just gonna switch these.
No breakfast?
Okay. So now these
No, no, no,
are
I'm good right now.
these are in
Biscuits
it.
and gravy. Oh yeah. Brown sausage. Good right now. Uh okay, so now we what does it mean to truly know myself? I don't think see it because I don't think like as we age it's like we feel like we know ourselves now, but as time go on, it's like we figure out different things and different interests. So I don't feel like no one can fully know themselves. Let me see. Is self awareness a path to peace or to perpetual question? Could be both, but I feel like with that comes perpetual questioning. You think you can ever find peace when there's like perpetual questioning? What role does people play in my self perception? Self right get to accept. All right, go back down real quick. Go back down real quick. I got one. Um
What do you think about this question?
is the mind I was thinking about that earlier. Um
Sometimes it's hard to like
nah,
conceptualize the mind. You know, you
I
have
can
the
believe
brain,
that
which is like a biological like anatomy,
yeah.
but the mind is like this separate thing. You know what I mean?
That's the inner workings, the conscious part, like you say, the neurons and all that. That's that. But that's a good. Is the mind separate from the body? Um, hold on, go back up real quick. Go back up, Rich. Go back up real fast
Ooh, I like this question.
to live consciously in digital
What
age.
does it mean to live consciously in the digital age?
It's like some matrix stuff.
Do you need some more time to look these over?
Nah, nah. I had a few. I was telling you to. I'll tell you to go back up. It was the. Where was that one? Um.
You there?
Oh shit! I must have. You can hear me?
I think you're on mute.
Let me see.
Check your audio.
You can hear me? No, you
I
can't.
think your audio's cut out.
Service. Hold on. Let me see. To a better spot. What about now? You can hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Maybe it's me. No, it's not
Nah,
me.
that's that's probably what it was. Can you hear me? Uh, trying to find better
I'm just
service
walking.
in the room. Uh,
Sun's coming out. That
yeah.
beautiful Los Angeles sun.
Can you hear me?
He's smiling.
No.
His
Can you?
mouth is moving, but his voice is not carrying.
Man. Let's see. Um.
Type in the chat real quick. Ah, might be a service. Well, we're around an hour, so I feel like this is a just a natural close to our recording. And why don't we rendezvous later and go over these questions? Sounds good. He types in the chat. Wonderful. Awesome. Well, this has been another episode of Rich Conversations, joined by Timothy Hayden the second, all the way from Los Angeles. Um, yeah, good catching up with you. Good to see you. We haven't met in a little while, and this has been good. So he's nodding his head solemnly. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can. Yeah, probably still can't hear
You
me.
smiling, saying something. I don't know. Anyways, thanks again. Appreciate you. Be well.
All right, Rich.